I welcome you all to this video. And today in this video, we are going to discuss about three important DAX functions, that is total QTD, total MTD, and total YTD. So we will be taking an example to understand that. And I'll simply double click on Power BI desktop icon and it will open Power BI desktop for us. It might take some time to open. And simply click on blank report. All right. Since we are not having the data set available, so first of all, let's create the data set. So I will simply click on modeling tab and new table. It might take some time, all right. So I'll further click here on the drop down, increase the size, all right. And let's name this table as calendar table. And we will be using calendar function. So we will simply write calendar, press tab key, having this calendar is highlighted in blue color. So now simply press the tab key and provide the start date and end date. We can provide these dates using date function. So inside the calendar function, we will use date function. And then the year is, let's say we want the start date to be 1st January 2022. So we can write 2022-01, bracket close, comma, date, press tab key. We want the last date to be 31st, let's say December 2025. So we can write 2025 and your month is 12th month and 31st December. Close the bracket, close the calendar function, press enter. All right. So this is the calendar table that we have created and it consists of one column, that is your date column. All right, now let's say we want to add one more column to this table in which we want to represent the total profit value. So I will right click on calendar table and then new column. And again, I'll click on the drop down. All right, and let's name this column as your profit column. And we will be using rand between functions. So we can simply write rand between, press tab key. Let's say the minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is, let's say, 10. Close the bracket, press enter. All right. And if I will further click on the table view to see the data that we have created. So this is the data that we have. We have a profit column and we have a date column. Let's say for the date column, we want to change the data type. So click on date column. Change the data type from here, change it to date. And now let's go back to the report view again. So I'll simply click on report view and it brings us back to the report view. Now, let's say there is a requirement wherein we want to represent the cumulative quantity sold for each month available in our data set, right? So cumulative quantity sold as in, I will try to explain it using an example. Let's say today is 1st January and the total profit is $1, for example. So for 1st January, the total should be $1. And let's say on 2nd January, the profit was $2. So the total profit by 2nd January will be equal to the profit of 1st January plus profit of 2nd January. So $1 plus $2 is equal to $3. So $3 should be shown with respect to 2nd January date, right? So in that manner, the cumulative totals are to be represented for each month available in the data set. So it can be achieved using total MTD function, right? So how we can use the DAX function? Let's take an example to understand that. So I will simply right click on this calendar table and then I will click on new measure. I'll click on the drop down and let's name this measure as total MTD. Total MTD, and the function that we are going to use is named total MTD. So just type 2-3 characters. IntelliSense will show you different names. Once that name is highlighted, the function name that you want to select, press the tab key. And now inside this function, you need to write an expression and then you need to provide the dates. Providing the filters is optional. So we are not using any filters as of now. Let's say we want to provide expression and date. So first of all, we want to find out the total of profit, right? So we can write sum of sales. Sorry, we do not have sales, sum of profit. So you will type 2-3 characters and then it will show you the column name, select that, close the bracket, sum function is closed. comma. Now provide the name of the date column. So I will simply write date, and calendar table date is the column that we want to use. Select that, and then select the date from here. Close the bracket. So that total MTD function is closed. Press enter. Now click here on this drop down. Click on the blank area on the canvas. Now let's say we want to represent this data in a table visual. So what I'll do, I'll simply click here on this table and it will add a blank table visual for us. Let's say on this table visual, we want to represent the different dates. So I will simply click on date and it represents different dates according to year, quarter, month, and day. And let's represent the total profit in a column. So having this table visual selected, I will simply click on profit. And this represents the sum of profit for each day, right? So for 1st January, the profit was $6. For 2nd January, the total was $7. For 3rd January, the total was $4 and so on. So for each date, the total value is being represented. But the requirement was to show the cumulative totals. So we have created this total MTD measure for that. So having this table visual selected, now simply click on total MTD. Now let's have a look at this. So if I'll talk about 1st January, so the total profit on 1st January was $6. That's why total MTD value for 1st January is $6. If I'll talk about 2nd January, so the profit for 2nd January was $7. But the cumulative total for 2nd January will be equal to the total profit for 1st January plus the total profit for 2nd January. So the total MTD value comes out to be $13. That's why the cumulative total, that is 13, is being represented. Similarly, for 3rd January, you can see the profit value exactly on 3rd January was $4, but the cumulative total, that is 1st January plus 2nd January plus 3rd January, was equal to $17. That's why $17 is being represented. And since we have used total MTD function, so the sum will be calculated, the cumulative sum or the cumulative total will be calculated for each month in this way. So since January ends on 31st January, so let's see what is the value on 31st January. So on 31st January, the cumulative total or total MTD value is $175. So it means the total profit for January month was equal to $175. Similarly, if you will have a look at 1st February, so from 1st February, this cumulative total process starts again. So for 1st January, the total profit value was $8. That's why total MTD value for 1st Feb is $8. But if I'll talk about 2nd February, so the total profit exactly on 2nd Feb was $8, but the cumulative total will be equal to 1st Feb's total plus 2nd Feb's total. So this is equal to 8 plus 8. That's why total MTD value for February on 2nd Feb will be equal to $16. Similarly, for 3rd Feb, the cumulative sum of Feb month will be equal to $23. So likewise, the total cumulative total will be calculated for each month in this way and will be represented in this way. So this requirement can be fulfilled by using total MTD function. Now, let's say we do not want these totals to be calculated for each month, but we want these cumulative totals to be calculated for each quarter. So for a current calendar year means for a given year, the dates are starting from 1st January to 31st December, right? So let's say, and there are 4 quarters in a given calendar year. So the first quarter contains or consists of months January, February, and March. Then Q2 is April, May, June. Then Q3 is July, August, September. And then your Q4 is October, November, December. So for each year, these 4 quarters will exist, right? And in our data set, we are having these 4 quarters for different years. So let's say we are interested in finding out the cumulative totals for each quarter, not for each month, but for each quarter in each year. So what I'll do, I'll simply right click on this calendar table again. I'll create a new measure. I'll click on the drop down. And let's name this measure as total QTD. And we can use total QTD function for the same. So we can write total QTD. Then simply the expression, that is, we want the sum of profit column to be there. We can reduce the size a bit. All right, comma. And now you can provide the name of the date column from the calendar table. So calendar table date column dot date. Close the bracket. Close the total QTD function. Simply press enter. And click anywhere on the canvas. Or maybe we can click on the drop down and then click on the canvas, right? Now I will click on the table visual again, and let's remove this total MTD column now. Let's click on total QTD column. And now let's see what are the totals. So again, 1st January is the day. On 1st January, the total profit on 1st January was equal to 6. So the total QTD becomes 6. Now for 2nd January, on 2nd January, the profit was 4. Exactly for 2nd January. But on 2nd January, the cumulative sum will be equal to 1st January's profit plus 2nd January's profit. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So that's why cumulative total is being shown to you as 10. Similarly, exactly for 3rd January, the total was equal to 4. The profit was equal to 4. But the total profit till 3rd January from 1st January was equal to $14. That's why total QTD shows $14. And this sum will be calculated up to the end of 1st quarter. And 1st quarter contains January, February, and March for a given calendar year, right? So March means 31st March. So the last date will be 31st March. So let's go to 31st March. So on 31st March, your quarter 1 ends. And you will see that the total profit up to 31st March or in the 1st quarter was $480. Now, if I'll talk about 1st April, so 2nd quarter starts. And for 2nd quarter, again, the same process will happen. So exactly on 1st April, the profit was $6. That's why the total QTD is $6. Now on 2nd April, exactly on 2nd April, the total was $5. But the cumulative total on 2nd April will be the sum of 1st April's profit and 2nd April's profit. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So total QTD is $11. Similarly, the total will be calculated for Q2 and it will be represented likewise in the same manner for all of the quarters as well. Similarly, let's say the requirement is not to find out the sums for each quarter, but to find out the total profit values in this way only, the cumulative sums for each one of the years. So for that purpose, we can use total YTD function. So I will simply right click on this calendar table, new measure, click on the drop down. Let's name this measure as total YTD. Now, on the right hand side of equal to, we can write total YTD. The expression will be, we want to find out the sum of profit column. Close the bracket, close the sum function, comma. Now write the name of date column from calendar table. Select the date, close the bracket, and thus close the total YTD function. Press enter. Click on the drop down, click on the blank area on the canvas. Click on the table visual, uncheck this total QTD box, and now check the box before total YTD measure. So now you can see that these totals will be calculated in the same way for each year. So your 2022 starts from 1st January, right from here, right? So 1st January 2022. So exactly for 1st January, the profit was $3. So total YTD is $3. Similarly, for 2nd January, the cumulative total will be 3 plus 2, that is $5. Similarly, for 3rd January, we have 3 plus 2 plus 9, that is $14. So 14 is being represented here. Similarly, for entire year 2022, the total will be shown on which date? It will be shown on 31st December 2022. So let's scroll down and let's open 31st December 2022. All right. So in the year 2022, the total profit was 1937, that is $1937. So on 31st December 2022, the total cumulative profit is being shown to you as 1937. While from 1st January 2023, since the new year starts, so the totals start getting calculated from here again. So on 1st January 2023, since exactly the profit was equal to $9, that's why total YTD was $9 on 1st January 2023. On 2nd January 2023, the exact profit was $10, but the cumulative profit for 2023 January will be equal to how much? $19. That is 10 plus 9. And for the year 2023 as well on 2nd January will be equal to $19. So this total, this cumulative total will be calculated for this entire year 2023. And then if you will see the date 2023 31st December. So you can see that the total value is 2,144. So the total profit for the year 2023 was equal to $2,144. So in that manner, cumulative totals can be represented using total MTD, QTD, and YTD functions. And if you will have a look at the totals which are being represented here at the bottom, so this 1895 is basically the cumulative total for the latest year available in the dataset. So the latest year available in the dataset is 2025. So this 1895 is representing the total profit value for for 2025 year, because as of now we have represented total YTD function. And this 8045 is representing the entire profit throughout all the years, right? If I will remove this total YTD column from this table visual, if I'll uncheck this box and if I'll click on, let's say, total MTD, so this 158 represented here at the bottom is basically nothing but the total profit for the latest month available in the dataset. So latest month available is the December month of year 2025. So total for December 2025 is being represented here as 158. While again the total profit throughout all the years, all the months and all the dates remains same as 8045. So 8045 remains the same. If I will further uncheck this box before total MTD, and if I'll check this box before total QTD, so you can see 458 is being represented as the total, and this is the total for the latest quarter available in our dataset. So the latest quarter available in our dataset is Q4 quarter of 2025 year. So that includes the months October, November, December for 2025. So for Q4 2025, since the total is 458, so it is being represented here at the bottom, while the total profit throughout all the years, all the months, all the quarters, all the dates remains same, that is $8045. So this is how we can fulfill these requirements using total MTD, QTD, and YTD functions. I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other DAX functions.